Oh, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudiyayat. Nasvesya Bhadrasya Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavatutam Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistike. This morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 3, text 13. Saunaka Uvacha Iti Abhiyaritam Raja Nisamya Bharatah Sabaha Kim yat pristavan bhuyo payasakim rishim kavim. Word for word translation. Saunaka uvacha. Saunaka said, Iti, thus, abhiyaritam, all that was spoken, Raja, the king, Nisamya, by hearing, Bharadrishabha, Maharaj Parikshit, Kim, what, Anyat, more, Pristavan, did he inquire from him, Bhuyaha, again, Vayasakim, unto the son of Vyasadev, Rishim, one who is well versed, Kavim, poetic. Translation. Vaisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Saunaka said, the son of Vyasadev, Srila Sukadev Goswami, was a highly learned sage and was able to describe things in a poetic manner. What did Maharaj Parikshit again inquire from him after hearing all that he had said? Purport. A pure devotee of the Lord automatically develops all godly qualities, and some of the prominent features of those qualities are as follows. He is kind, peaceful, truthful, equable, faultless, magnanimous, mild, clean, non-possessive, a well-wisher to all, satisfied, surrendered to Krishna, without hankering, simple, fixed, self-controlled, a balanced eater, sane, mannerly, prideless, grave, sympathetic, friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. Out of these 26 prominent features of a devotee, as described by Krishnadas Kaviraj in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, the qualification of being poetic is especially mentioned herein in relation to Sukadev Goswami. The presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam by his recitation is the highest poetic contribution. He was a self-realized learned sage. In other words, he was a poet among the sages. Read the verse once again. Saunaka uvacha iti abhiyaritam raja nisamya bharatakshabahan kimmanyat pristavan bhuyo vayasakim rishim kavim. Saunaka said, the son of Vyasadev, Srila Sukadev Goswami, was a highly learned sage and was able to describe things in a poetic manner. What did Maharaj Parikshit again inquire from him after hearing all that he has said? Om Ajnanatimandasya Janam Jana Shanakya Saksvan Militam Yena Tasmai Shigove Namaha Shitchetanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shiyuda Padkamalam Shigum Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Jarajatam Sakanarahnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Samrutam Parjana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganadita Shivashakam Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sutadevi Pranamama Haripriye Vancha Kalptrabhasha Kripa Sindhivasha Patinam Pavanabhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namah Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki. When Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture on this verse, he spoke mostly on these two qualities mentioned of Sukadev Goswami. He was a sage and he was a rishi and a kavi, a poet. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioned 26 qualifications. These 26 qualifications or characteristics of a pure devotee are mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And these are the qualifications of a Vaishnava. So one of these qualifications is Kavi, poet. So we see practically all the Vaishnavas in our disciplic succession were poets. So many. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was also a great poet. He called Vrindavan Das Thakur the Vyas of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Of course, there are very beautiful biographies of Lord Chaitanya. There are 11, and one of them is Chaitanya Mangal, written by Lochan Das Thakur, also a great poet. And then we have Kavi Karnapura, who wrote Ananda Vrindavan Shampoo, also very poetic. They are all big poets, even before Lord Chaitanya. Vidyapati, Chandidas, Jayadev wrote the 10 Avatar Stotra. And every day we are chanting Tavakara Kamala Varena Kamma Bhuta Shingam Dalitayanyakasi Bhutana Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare. That's from Jayadev, who also wrote the Gita Govinda. So a devotee of the Lord is thus expected to develop all these qualities. But the more we advance in Krishna consciousness, the more these qualities will come out. So it's a symptom of advancement. Factually, the qualities are already there, but they are covered over by material consciousness. We know that Krishna has 64 qualities in full. And we are minute particles of Krishna. Therefore, we have also these qualities, but in a minor way. But these good qualities are now covered. Just like fire is covered by ashes. As fire is covered by ashes, it does not act as fire. It's covered when it's covered by these ashes, it does not act as fire. So, but Krishna is fire. But we are also fire in quality. We are sparks, and the sparks are also fire. Therefore, we sometimes desire to imitate Krishna, and because we have these qualities in minute quantity, so we think, I'm God. But we do not have the qualitative difference that we forget. We can say we are God, but a tiny God, not the supreme. So there is the blazing fire and the spark of fire. When the spark of fire falls down from the blazing fire, it becomes extinguished. So in order to reignite it, to reignite our fiery quality, we must go back to the original fire, connect with the original fire. Then the fire quality will again manifest, be executed. So that is Krishna consciousness. KC, Krishna consciousness means connecting with the source of everything. That with our consciousness, we connect with Krishna. So, and that's called Krishna consciousness. So when we are in the process of going back to Godhead, then these 26 qualities become manifest. And out of these 26 qualities, one quality is to become a poet. And another quality is a rishi. Rishis, munis, scholars are called rishis. So when you advance in Krishna consciousness, the attachment of matter will increase and these qualities manifest. That the Bhagavatam in the first canto, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayochita, Yanyatya Suvarachyam Yanam Yasayat Haitakam. When we render devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So that's going together. And then these qualities that become manifest. So Prabhupada said, just as our students, he speaks about his disciples, they became averse to so many things. And these are all young boys and girls. They are not interested in cinemas, in restaurants, in spiritual life, that at one side we should be detached, and at the other side we should increase our attachment. So these are the qualifications. The first quality of a devotee mentioned in the purport here is a devotee is kind. Like a sannyasi, it said, he accepts sannyas due to his kindness of humanity. Like examples of this are Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. They were ministers, leaders of society, and they gave it up, their position. They found it to be insignificant. Rupa Goswami is wearing only a little cloth. Rupa and Sanatana Goswami accepted mendicant life. They were compassionate to those who have forgotten Krishna and who are after some bread, working very hard. Of course, Prabhupada is preaching, is saying these words. But if we remember Prabhupada, that after the disappearance of of Prabhupada, one of the senior godbrothers of Prabhupada, said to the disciples of Prabhupada, now you cannot understand what he has done for you. But if you become old, then you will understand. And Prabhupada started his mission at 70, age of 70. At that age, the body is old. It's old means it's rotting. It's going down. On the boat, he had 2 heart attacks. So what did he do for us? That's kindness. That despite all the difficulties of old age, he just went through it. The second quality Prabhupada explains is peaceful. A Vaishnava is never turbulent, Prabhupada said. But the demons, they are creating disturbance. A Vaishnava is peaceful. And a Vaishnava is truthful. Because a Vaishnava knows the ultimate truth, Krishna, therefore is truthful. That it doesn't make a distinction that here is an animal and here is a human being. And the animal has no soul. No, they don't have that conclusion. As Krishna says, Sarva Yonisi Kantya is kind not only to human society. In human society, they have something called nationalism, patriotism. They are very partial. They are selfish. Even if they are kind, they are selfish. They are kind to their own man, that's all. Not to outsiders. We see many times in Western countries, they throw away grains because the price is too low. But there are so many hungry people. So, because they are not Krishna conscious, they cannot be kind. But who was the most kind? The most magnanimous is Lord Chaitanya. Namama Vadanya Krishna Prema Padayate is giving Krishna Prema, which is very rare. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manusyanam Sasrasu Kashit Yatada Siddhye Yatatam Apisa Siddhanam Kashimam Gati Tattvata. Out of many of thousands among men, we may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So it's difficult to understand Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya is distributing Krishna Prema like anything. That another quality mentioned here is cleanliness. Because a Vaishnava is higher than a Brahman, has surpassed the stage of Brahminical life. Therefore, a Brahman is clean, but therefore we must be very clean, Prabhupada says. By taking bath, by wearing clean clothes every day, by keeping the kitchen very clean, everything clean. Clean the temple. Like Ambarish Maharaj. Karo arer mandira marjanadishu. He engaged his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord. We sing every day. Shiviradhana nityanana shingaratan mandira marjanado. The temple should be bright, always clean. That. And then another quality is non-possessiveness. A materialistic person, he tries to possess more and more and more. A devotee keeps what is only necessary. A devotee does not keep any furniture, Prabhupada says. They rented some house in America, and then a few days later, the house owner came and asked, where's your furniture? Prabhupada says, a devotee does not keep any furniture. What's the use of furniture? You can lie down on the floor. That, of course, may be difficult for most of us, but we live simple. Because a Vaishnava always thinks, Sarva Sukhina Bhavanti. How can I do good for others? How can I make others happy? So the devotee is always satisfied with what Krishna gives us. And that's a formula, one of the formulas for peace. Of course, one can only attain that when one understands the peace formula. Bhaktam Sagatapasam Sarvalokmashvam Surdam Sarvabhutnam Yatvam Santi Richati. Understanding Krishna is the owner of everything and is therefore the enjoyer and is the best, and therefore is our best friend. Then you can attain peace. So satisfied with what Krishna gives us. But that we can only attain when we are fully surrendered to Krishna. Even suffering, we must accept as grace. In any condition, we remain surrendered. Because if we are not surrendered to Krishna, then it's business. And then there's the quality being grave. Grave. Do not talk nonsense, Prabhupada said. Be always grave. It means, yes, that we don't speak about sense gratification. We do not waste time. That life is short. Every second not used in Krishna consciousness is like poison. Use every moment in the service of Krishna. This is one of the symptoms of one who is situated in bhava. He does not waste a single moment, always in the service of Krishna. There are so many other qualities here. But the main qualities in the verse are poetic and rishi. So rishi means scholar. That's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. One will become Krishna conscious. He knows everything because he knows the source of everything, the underlying basis. School education is based on the body concept of life and is based on giving pleasure to the body and others' bodies. Therefore, Prabhupada calls modern schools a slaughterhouse of consciousness. And that is what it is. Prideless. People can become proud, but soon it's all over. One can be the president of the United States, but soon one will also die. It's over. That is all temporary. Therefore, devotee is without hankering. It does not desire anything in this world. What is a desire of a devotee? That we learn from Prahlad Maharaj. Soon we have Nrsimha Chaturdasi. But of course, the reason for the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev was the pure devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. And in the beginning of the 10th chapter of the 7th canto there, that Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Nrsimhadev offers Prahlad Maharaj benedictions. But Prahlad Maharaj declines every benediction, material benediction. But he said, if you want to give me a benediction, please take away all the impurities in my heart so that my heart always remains clean. And so that I always can think of you. That he has also a benediction for his father. He wanted his father to get liberation. So that is that quality of Sarva Sukhina Bhavanti, wanting happiness of others. But he says also to Lord Nrsimhadev, if you want to give me a benediction, I've been engaged in Krishna consciousness by my spiritual master, Narada Muni. Please give me the benediction that I can always stay in his service eternally. So these are the desires of the devotee. It's only for the happiness of others. So all these qualities are in us, but they become uncovered when we remove the lust and ignorance which is covering them. So that means transforming selfishness into selflessness. Stop making plans for our own happiness. Happiness of the body will not happen in this world. Our happiness lies in giving Krishna happiness. And giving Krishna happiness means engaging in his devotional service, engaging in the service of our spiritual master, life after life. So yes, these are these 26 qualities. Sukadev Goswami has these qualities, but Saunaka Rishi is highlighting two main qualities, poetic and kavi. So any comments or questions, please? Yes, Mother Venuya.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances, Jai Srila Prabhupada. I hope I can, thank you very, very much for the class. It gives some hope that some improvement is possible in us. For me, it's the challenge. When I had a good sadhana, everything is balanced, the sleep was balanced, eating was quite balanced. then it's easier to be kind and to be during the day in the flow of the services. But in my case, it changed very often. That sleep was not so balanced, eating was not so balanced, or basically I'm easily influenced if the material nature is more active in passion, for instance. Also, and I have already the good fortune that I many hours every day in the temple and go every morning to the morning program and so on. But how can we remain in this? Also, I think when my own heart is full, then I can also be kind and lovely and everything to others. And how can I maintain these? Also this state of being, also if the subtle and the gross body is not so in good shape and balanced at a couple of days. Also in my case, almost at every second or third day. Mm.
Yeah, that's challenges for all of us who get older, and that we have to do the needful to keep the body nicely running. When you get older, you have to spend more time to the body. That also Prabhupada was traveling. He must take. It took time for making a walk every morning. That it took time for getting a massage every day. But while walking, he was chanting japa. While we are doing these things, we can also keep ourselves Krishna conscious by hearing lectures, constantly hearing. We try our best to use our circumstances, although not ideal, but always try to connect them with Krishna consciousness. I remember one of these great devotees who was in Vrindavan, that was in 98, 99. I was in Vrindavan at the Krishna Balaram temple, and he had morning Mangalarti together with a great devotee. I forgot his name. That he was working in the kitchen, but then he became very old. That he left his body 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. His samadhi is in the samadhi at Ghoshal in Vrindavan. There you have the samadhi. Kalamaka Maharaj is also there. But he was the first one where the samadhi there. I forgot his name, but his samadhi is still there. And during his last months, he was just sitting on his bed, but he has a headphone and was constantly hearing Prabhupada, always hearing. So it's good to find ways to keep connected. The body will go up and down, but like you said, if you have a good sadhana, that will not influence so much our mood. We become stronger in Krishna consciousness too. That but therefore it's good to have a good sadhana. Even if you cannot go to the morning program, have your own morning program. It's more difficult. That we must go to a morning program, whether we are alone or in the temple or whatever situation. So that's called the ability to maintain oneself, to engage oneself in Krishna consciousness. And that's important to develop. But the situation may be different. We are servants of the circumstances that Krishna gives us. But we should become expert in using these circumstances to remain Krishna consciousness through different engagements. That and we cannot neglect our body. That when the body gets older, I got last week. I was struggling like anything. I'm coming back from the United States, and then when you get up here, that's the time to go to sleep in America. So that becomes difficult. That you get up and after 1 hour the body wants to go to sleep. you cannot remain awake. So it takes a while to go over that. So you have to adapt your program, but the program should be still all related to Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is in our heart and he sees our endeavor. That sometimes we fail. That's all right. We continue and try to do better. That's the message. Does that help?
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you very much. All the best for you.
Yeah. Anyone else has a question? Developing these godly qualities which are inherent in us, they are there. That it's not that we have to consciously try to develop them. No, they will develop automatically because as our consciousness becomes purified, as our consciousness becomes purified, they become manifest. That it starts with, in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, text 8 to 12, that's 21 elements of knowledge, that factors of knowledge. And of the 21, there are two most important, accepting a spiritual master and engage under his guidance in devotional service. And when we do that, if we follow strictly the program given to us by Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, through our spiritual master, but Prabhupada's program, if we follow that strictly, then all the other qualities will manifest gradually. That, like Prabhupada said in the beginning of his lecture on this, all these young boys and girls that they are averse to so many things they were attached to before. That and that's the development. You become attached to devotional service, to the devotees. You become averse to sense gratification, and that's a very positive way. Then one knows, yes, I'm developing these qualities. It takes a while. But as anartinivrita progresses, these qualities become manifest, and we become more enthusiastic, more happy. Any other points, comments, questions? Good, then I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Prabhu Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai.